What you doing?
Ran out of space on my phone, so I'm deleting some stuff. Bye, singing dog. Bye, goal.
I pronounce you.
Bye, wedding ceremony.
Stop. At Metro PCS, you get 2 free phones with twice as much memory.
Really?
Don't say bye to your memories. Switch to Metro PCS and get 2 free LG K20 Plus phones with 32 gigs when you switch 2 lines. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figure it out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hey everybody, it's a Friday afternoon and it's my last show of the week, and I have to say I'm ending off my week with an absolutely fabulous guest, which I'm so excited, and I don't want to keep him on hold for too long. So in case some of you might have forgotten, Tony Chen is my featured guest today, which we'll get to him in about 30 seconds or so. I real quickly wanted to make just a couple quick notices in case any of you guys happen to be out later, out and about. As I might have mentioned the last 2 nights, today is the actual inaugural start of the Milwaukee Women's Film Festival. Filmtofilm.org is the name of the website. The official launch party is at 7 o'clock this evening. It's located at the Underground Collaborative. For those of you that may not have been to Grand Avenue Mall as of yet, I mean, if you live in the Milwaukee area, of course, you're familiar with it downtown. If you go downstairs below, underneath the regular mall level, it's called the Underground Collaborative. It starts at 7 o'clock this evening. They're having their opening party, and apparently they're having free pizza and music, etc. And it's running all weekend long. If you go ahead to the website, you can go ahead and get tickets. Otherwise, you can also visit Eventbrite. Boy, it's been a long week. Eventbrite.com, otherwise filmfreeway.com, and type in Milwaukee Women's Film Festival. You won't be able to miss it. I'm wishing her great success. I will be in and out of there sometime this afternoon, or if not today, tomorrow, checking out some of the films and doing some coverage. So I hope to see you there. Also want to remind everybody the Heartland Farmers Market this weekend, and yes, they finally talked me into it, which means for the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks, if you're looking for my truffles, my chili, or my soup, come on down and visit me. So without further ado, I do not want to keep Tony holding on the line. Let's get him on the line, and let's get our interview started. Hi, Tony.
Hello, hi, Cindy. This is Tony speaking.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Yes, I am extremely intimidated. I mean, if you could see me right now, you would notice I'd be bowing in front of you. I'm like, you are such a big deal. I'm so excited.
Thank you
I'm
so
like,
much.
thank you. No, thank you for coming on my program. I appreciate it, and I appreciate your patience.
I feel so honored. Yeah. I feel so honored that you invited me to this one. Okay.
Well, there's a lot to cover here, so I want to kind of jump right into things, and I'll bounce around a little bit because I know a bunch of different things about you. First of all, I know you're original native of Beijing, and of course you reside in California currently. But because you're from another country, I like to ask this question. Music is different, art is different, culture is different. So what sort of adjustment was it when you're originally coming from a place like Beijing and coming here? How hard was that for you to acclimate in terms of how we do things here artistically? Was that a real jump for you?
Can you repeat the question again, please?
Sure, that's fine. So you're original native in Beijing originally. So when you come from a place where you've grown up, let's say, or you spent a good deal of time in Beijing, then you come here to the States, artistically, meaning when you're doing your music, performing, etc., is there a big difference there? Because most of us haven't visited your culture or your country. So I kind of want to get a bird's eye view. What's it like there versus here?
Okay. So, well, I think it's a big question, and also I just want to make a note before I talk about it. English is not my native language, so I'll try my best to make it understand. To make it understand.
Okay.
Because my native language is Mandarin, and then English is my second language. So I'll try my best.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Actually, in terms of different in culture, I think it is a big question because for me, I mean, the first impression I got from Western country is the freedom. I mean, it's the freedom of speech, freedom of belief, and everybody, they're free to express themselves through different ways, including music. But in China, because China, the political system is communist government, so basically that you normally through the media you only hear one voice. So basically the music form, kind of sometimes the music is used by the government in a political way. So there's one side of it, and the next, So the next side of there are so many, because Chinese traditional culture is based on Buddhism, Taoism, so many 5,000 years of history. So the traditional music melody I'm not talking about the current music culture in China, because current culture, so sadly, it's kind of a little bit communist influenced. So you have like Russian taste in the music, but the traditional Chinese music, they are quite focused on the inner meaning. So basically, they have very simple melodies, simple melodic ideas. So basically, it's not like Western music that you need to practice so many highly technical training. You need to receive very systematic training, like different playing techniques, different orchestration, different harmony, different chord progression that you need to focus on, and then you do a whole bunch of orchestration, make it very magnificent and make it very big, grand sound. But for Chinese, like even like a 2-string erhu, it's like Chinese violin. You only have like very simple melody, but it touches you. Maybe the main notes maybe just 5 notes, and then you just feel it had so many different. It has so big meaning behind it. So basically, it's So that basically is the two. And this is the two difference that I figure out.
Okay. Now here's an interesting question. You were educated at the University of Huddersfield, which is in the UK, not obviously in China. I was intrigued by that, meaning why did you go to the UK to get educated versus maybe doing Beijing? Because I imagine education there is very highly accelerated.
Well, actually, when I was planning to go to the UK, I mean, my family, we didn't think too much on that. I just had an idea. I just mentioned once to my parents saying, okay, if I'm going to study abroad, probably I should just study music. And then just naturally happened. It seems that everything was so like arranged by heaven or something. Well, it just happened that way. And maybe probably one of the things was my parents, they used to be students in the UK. So they used to study in the UK. So, and also they have friends in the UK. So it's just everything just came out so natural. But in China, the competition in music schools is very, very, intense. It's so many talents. They want to go to one single, the highest music school. So, the competition is so big. Yeah.
Well, I imagine. My goodness. Now, you actually started around age 17 is when you were actually starting to produce things, et cetera, in terms of musically. I know that you play the keyboard. I know that you create music, and I know that you do voiceovers. So since you started off as a teenager there, when you first started off, were you just creating music, or were you playing at that time, or what were you doing specifically when you first started out in your career in terms of music?
Okay, when I was very little, there were some different stages of my music career. So I would just study from 5-year-old. Okay, from 5-year-old to about 12 years old, I was like forced to play the piano. Okay, basically I didn't really enjoy it. And then when I was in middle school, I was forced to participate in an art festival in my middle school. And then that was the time that I started to become interested in music, because there was another classmate. We played a duet, and he is very good at playing music by ear. So once he listened to a piece of music and he directly played on piano, that interests me a lot. And then I started to explore electronic keyboards. And then I decided let's try connecting the electronic keyboard with computers. And then at the age of 16 to 17, I started to do my own composition.
Okay. So, now it makes sense. Okay. I get it.
Right.
Okay. Now I have to ask you, because I'm not going to lie, Tony, I can't even pick up a guitar. I have no musical ability. I can't sing. I'm musically stupid, for lack of a better term. So I wanted to ask you this question. Why lie about it? I'm a great writer, but I cannot hold a tune. So to those that are listening in, if you would please explain the difference, because you have experience in both. Because I'm going to guess I've seen people play keyboards, and then I've seen them play the piano. So what's the real difference between transitioning between a keyboard and a piano? Okay.
For me, piano it's a classical instrument. It's when you play the piano, you need, because it's not like keyboards. The old keyboard, I think when I was like very young, the old keyboard was like, it's not the keyboard do not have velocity. So basically, if you touch it, no matter how light you touch it or how hard you touch it, the sound just come out at the same level. But the piano, you need to have strength in your, and the piano, you need to have strength in your fingers, and you need to practice your fingers, the strength. I mean, there are so many different techniques. It's like a foundation of everything, I believe, the piano training. Mm-hmm. But for keyboard, for me, keyboard does not require you to have so many strength on your fingers, but the keyboards had so many different voices for you to choose. So basically, that a keyboard can open the door for you, open the door of orchestration for a music student. So basically, the piano is piano. You only have piano sound, right? And then you just play it. But nowadays we have electronic piano, so that you have more than one voices. But not many voices, but not as many as the keyboards, because the keyboards sometimes carry thousands of different voices, thousands of or hundreds of different styles, so that you can play pop music, play dance music, country music, Latin music. So basically, a keyboard is like a one-man band, but a piano is just piano. Yeah.
No, I see what you're
talking
about. I got that.
Yeah, and then there's a keyboard called a music workstation and music synthesizer. So basically, that you can create an original composition without the computer, and you just use that keyboard to create everything.
I get it. Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about there. Now, for you, because obviously I know you're a man in your mid-30s, so you've been playing for XYZ amount of time. So to those listening, if they want to keep their parts, I should say, actually, because your hands, your arms, all of that is kind of an extension of your instrument, if you will. So are there particular practices or things you do to keep your hands strong, arms strong, etc.? Do you know what I mean? To be able to play extensively, whether it's keyboard or piano?
Okay, so because I'm not officially a piano performer, so I don't really like these pianists. I don't practice like these pianists. But I do, because I just keep composing, because when I compose, I mean, there are different parts that, I mainly work with my home studio stuff, so all music softwares, so that each track, I mean, no matter it is strings, no matter it is flute or drum beats or everything, you need to input them by playing the keyboard. Or some drum beats, they are they're preset sounds, but still need to do editing. So basically, sometimes I play their slow melodic ideas, but sometimes I also need to play fast movement. So basically, at the same time, I'll be doing the composition. I'm practicing playing the keyboard. Yeah. So basically, that's how I balance. And also, I missed one point when I talk about the keyboard, because these days the keyboards, they do have velocity response. So basically, if you press it harder, the sound would become harder. And then louder. Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're talking about. I got it. Okay. Yeah, because I know that my friends that play keyboard or they play piano, etc., they tell me, okay, I practice this amount of time, but then you have to rest your hands, or sometimes they actually have treatments or methods or whatever have you. I mean, do you think it's possible to overextend yourself when you're playing, meaning should people seriously factor in things like resting times or things like that? I mean, I don't know how extensive it is versus we all know.
I do. Yeah, I do need to.
That. You do.
I do need to have time to relax, because when I do music composition, it's not just like playing with your hands, but you need to think.
Right.
Your mind is in a heavily workload, and then you need to watch the computer screen. So basically, I do meditation exercise. I mean, I do one meditation exercise called Falun Gong. It's based on truthfulness, compassion, tolerance. It's similar to Tai Chi. So I use that to relax, to get inspiration, to get wisdom. Yeah.
Nice, very nice. And now, do you find that? Do you have time to do that daily meditation like you're talking about? Because we all know that, the busier you get, the more popular you get, et cetera, that leaves less and less time for us. So I'm guessing that maybe meditation or some of these methods are important.
I do need to arrange time. Yeah. I do need to arrange time for me doing the meditation, because if you don't do that, I mean, it's very, very easy to get tired. And then if I feel, I'm so exhausted, and then I just every day, maybe half an hour or 1 hour, I just do some slow movements, and then sitting there and doing the meditation, and then just trying to stop all the different thoughts and different meaning, and I just feel my mind becomes even clearer. And then once I'm in this state, I mean, it's much easier for me to get new melodic ideas. Yes,
Okay.
because I mean, meditation is kind of like you explore yourself, and you are deciding which thoughts are bad, which thoughts are good, because our principle is called truthfulness, compassion, tolerance. So basically, the bad thoughts, I mean, making me feeling frustrated, I would just let go of these bad attachments, and then I get more and more purified mind and more clearer mind. So that when I'm doing music, I also feel that my music carries that kind of positive energy power of making people to feel very peaceful and calm, and also sometimes magnificent.
Sure.
So
Sure.
yeah. So basically, I do feel that meditation exercise of Falun Gong is gives me a lot of inspiration and strength. So that it actually makes my music composition easier. So that's why I do arrange time for the meditation. I won't say, okay, I'm too busy to do meditation. No, I need to do the meditation so that I can be better at my work.
I gotcha. I understand. I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Now, since I am a journalist, I pride myself on digging into all of my different clients and people that come on the show, and I've dug around a little bit about you, but I couldn't. I could not come across this detail, so I have to ask you. It looks like you're a single gentleman, but I couldn't tell if you have children or not. Or obviously, all the girls in the group always want everybody to ask, okay, is this guy single or not, or is he seeing somebody, etc. So we always like to ask the guests, are you single? Do you have a family at home? And we always like to talk about this. I think it's important. Do you have a good structural support system, meaning that how important is it for a musician to succeed if they have that good support system at home, whether it's family, friends, etc., that sort of thing?
Well, I'm single, so I'm still waiting for the dream girl to come. Yeah, I'm still looking for it. Yeah.
If you have time, Tony, which it sounds like you have none of.
Well, basically, I mean, if I'm doing good work in my music, normally, okay, lots of people I do get some how can I say, some response from the opposite, I mean, from female fans. I do get.
This is a good thing.
Yes, I do. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Basically,
gotcha.
probably it's easier for me. All right. Okay. But
sure.
yeah, I do feel that I mean, it's how can I say? Because I'm doing this meditation exercise. I mean, it's based on Asian Chinese culture. So in Asian Chinese culture, we believe that everything is like predestined. So basically, that who is going to be your wife, or who is going to be your parents, who is going to be your friends, it's kind of like predestined relationships. So there's a reason for you to meet some people. So maybe I just feel that maybe it's not the time for me to meet the one yet. Or maybe she's already here, but I just need to explore further. Okay.
I understand.
I don't know.
Sometimes,
I don't know.
Sometimes you have to do that. I totally get it.
Yeah. But with definitely with friends support, with family support, that's really a powerful encouragement for me to carry on. Yeah.
You betcha, without a doubt, certainly.
Yeah.
Now, I'm curious for a man like you who came on my show and said, English is not my first language. But then when you talk to Tony, he'll tell you, part of my job is doing voiceovers, which I find interesting because you live in the United States. Okay. So I'm like, how hard is that for you? Do you know what I mean? Because I would think, obviously voiceover, using your voice, using your language, is that really tough for you because you're still learning the English language, or do you think you've got it pretty down pat now?
Voiceover, actually, the majority of voiceover jobs I received, they are in Mandarin. Basically, they're not just English, not English. But sometimes there are some projects looking for English with Chinese accent. So that's exactly the things that I can do. And then and also I have this background in the UK, so my English is also has British taste in it. So basically, I'm like a combination of British and Chinese accent. So basically, sometimes some some projects they just feel that an Asian guy, they need an Asian taste and also an Asian speaking British accent. They just
Oh my God.
somehow they feel that this Asian probably sounds intelligent or something like that. Okay, so basically
That is cool.
So basically most of the voiceover I do is in Mandarin, and also at the same time I do receive projects in English with Chinese accent.
Oh my gosh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Look at that. So if I were to
and
ask
I'm so surprised. Actually, I'm so surprised. Lots of companies, they are producing videos that originally in English or in another language, because they also want the Chinese speakers to see the video or maybe promote to the Chinese market. They need to translate everything into Chinese, and then they need to dub the voice into that film. So that's how I fit in.
I see what you mean. Okay. So
Yeah.
now here's a good question. When people meet you, do they recognize you more for the voiceover work you've done or for the music that you've composed?
I think they're from different realms. I mean, I think they are two different groups of people. So the people who are following my music, I believe they don't really interact more on my voiceover, but the people who interact more on my voiceover, I believe they are in the voice business. I mean, they are the people from the voice part.
Okay.
And the other guy, and for my music, because my music is suitable for almost all ages. So I think the people who love my music, they're from different walks of life. So they.
Oh, I get
Yeah.
it.
So yeah.
I get it. If you, because I know this, because I clearly do radio, and I'm here to tell you, I rarely ever listen to my own voice. So I have to ask you, because some actors never watch themselves on screen. I won't listen to myself.
Your voice
so
sounds
when
good.
you do, thank you. But if you do,
Yeah,
you do your voiceovers, do you go back and listen to it, or do you have an issue with that? Because, like I said, I don't like to listen to my own voice. But I'm curious, does that ever bother you? Like, do you mind listening to yourself?
Yes, I would listen to my voice. Because you know what, I received vocal training in my university, and also actually that meditation exercise gave me lots of inspiration how to open up the voice. I did really improve me a lot, and then I'm so satisfied when I reached the point that I'm happy to listen to my voice. So that was the point and that was the point that I started to be confident about my voice. Before that time period, I didn't really want to listen to my voice. I imagined I should sound like this, but when I play back the recording, it just sounded awful. And then, but some people, they still say, okay, you have a good voice, but I didn't really like it. But then after several years of practicing, exploring, and then I reached the point when I play back my voice, I said, okay, this sounds good. I'm satisfied about it. I mean, like listening to my voice. So I think I get it's a different transition, yes.
Oh, I get what you mean. Okay, now I'm understanding what you're saying. Okay, got it. All right, now here's an interesting question. How exciting is this that you get to vote for people that could win the Grammy Awards? That's a really cool thing, meaning that you're a voting Grammy member.
Yes.
Do most musicians get the opportunity to do that, or do they pick and choose you? I'm just curious about the process. How does that happen? Like, do you have to, sign up for that? Do you know what I mean?
Okay, becoming a Grammy voting member, you need to meet certain requirements, because you need to.
Okay.
You can explore. Yeah, you can explore that on GrammyPro.com. So they have different guidelines. So for example, you have to meet one of the criteria. For example, that you need to have commercially released music, and you need to prove that you're active professional musician now, and also maybe you need to. Probably you were nominated in Grammy once, and then for the commercial released music, you need to your music should be available in the digital stores or superstores approved by them. So there's different criteria, and you need to meet certain criteria to become a part of the membership.
Sure.
So basically they want to make sure that all the voting members, they are really, really professional musicians. So it's only open to these people, and there's, I mean, if you don't match that criterion, probably you can apply for associate membership. So basically, that that membership means that you cannot vote for Grammy. But
That is so
as
cool.
long as you become a member, you are eligible to submit your work for Grammys. So
Nice.
if you are not, so basically means if you're not a membership, you cannot submit your work to Grammys.
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you mean. Well, thank you for explaining that. Just because obviously I'm not a music person, but Grammys, everybody recognizes Grammys.
Yeah. So I believe it's like the Oscars in music world. So
Correct.
So basically, I feel so exciting. I mean, to become part of the voting process because you listen to different kinds of music. You need to vote for the music piece that you feel that its quality is up to the standard. I mean, you just open up your mind, open up your friend zone. I mean, you can meet so many different talents. And then you can share about music. Even some talents, they are very spiritual. So it's just open your gate to more professional musicians.
Right. No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I definitely do.
Yes.
Now, I want to ask a very detailed question, meaning about your musical composition process. Like I'm a writer, so I have my own process on how I do things. So just take us through a bit of a little walkthrough when Tony's sitting down and saying, okay, I'm going to compose some music today. What does that picture look like? Meaning, tell us some of the elements that are involved in that, because when we think about music in a film, let's say, because you've done that, I think about, okay, well, somebody sat down and they wrote this, and then they probably played it on an instrument. But what are some of those processes that are difficult for you? Because I know for a while there that you were struggling with mixing, and apparently you've been getting much better at that quality. So tell us a bit about what's included in that process, and for you, what's the hardest part of creating music?
Okay, I think, this is also a very big question. I think creating music is like, for example, a music piece. It has melody, it has chord progression, it has its harmony, it has different instruments getting involved, and each different needs to play a different role. So, and then you need to, and also you need to, when you think about mixing, actually you are thinking about just not come up with mix them together without a rule, without coordination. And you need to say, okay, this instrument should be up front, and the other instrument should be on the right, and then a little bit further. The other one, you are placing them in a three-dimensional field, sound field. So basically, each element you need to spend time to get to know them, just like you meet a friend. For example, today I started to talk with Cindy Yu, and then later, okay, I know, you are, maybe the first time I only know you exist, and then maybe next time when we have another chance, we can chat more, and then, okay, and then we become closer friends. And then you need to do this in different areas of music. So you need to get to know this instrument, get to know other instrument, get to know the chords, and then you become familiar with each of them. And then the last thing is you need to be the coordinator of all these things. So maybe just like you're cooking a dish, like put a little bit salt, put a little bit sugar, and then you put them together and a piece of music.
Sure.
And then so basically you are like a coordinator of a team. So
okay.
So probably in this way it's much easier for you to understand. You're coordinating everything, every team member in this music world that you are going to work with. So basically that's kind of the general idea. Yeah, but if I make it concrete, for example, if I come up with a melody line. Okay, so when I come up with a melody, in the past, I was struggling with coming up a good melody all the time because it's very easy for you to come maybe 2 or 3 good melodies and you feel, oh, this is so great. And then when you come up with the 4th one and the 5th one, you just suddenly feel that you are lacking of ideas. And it does not sound as good as the previous ones. And then you said, okay, maybe I try to make it simple, and then it sounds very dull. It sounds very you just feel it that it's not right. For some reason, it's not right. and then I need to listen to different pieces of music, and then I need to summarize a rule for myself how to come up with a good melody all the time. I mean, it's easy to come up with 2 or 3, but it's not easy to come up with good melodies all the time. And then I truly benefited from doing that meditation exercises based on traditional Chinese culture. Traditional Chinese culture has this kind of balance of yin and yang. So current level of understanding that a melody line, if I follow the yin and yang pattern, so basically the music idea should, if the music idea goes up, and then at some point I just need to drag it down. And then if it goes down, I need to drag it up. So basically the shape of your melody needs to have this balance of yin and yang. And then I try it in my melody. So that solved my problem. So I can come up with a good melody in a very short time. As long as I follow this pattern, I just feel I can come up with countless melodies and countless good melodies. I mean, it's the melodies that I feel I'm satisfied about it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
yes.
So this is one thing. Yeah. So different parts of music, you need to come up with a solution like this.
Okay. Now, if you're doing something like this, because it sounds very technical to some degree. I mean, yes, you have to be motivated and inspired. There are technical parts. So a good guesstimate, let's say, for instance, when you get a good idea or good inspiration or you're motivated and you get going on something, is there such a thing as a typical turnaround time for composing a piece of music for you? You know, like for me, for instance, I could tell you like 2 days and I'll have an article written, for instance. Is there such a thing as that? Is there some kind of expected turnaround for that?
For music, for voiceover, I do have these things. I mean, there's a certain timeline. But for music, because I'm currently just composing my own music, so I take my time. But but if I used to have some experience that they're looking for some piece of music like within 2 days, and then I feel that I don't feel that that's a big problem for me, because from 17 years old, I think when I started to 16 years old when I started to doing my own music composition, I felt that it's always like stream. I mean, if I want to have it, it will have it. I will have it. If I want to compose, and I can compose it quite quickly, actually.
Oh, nice. Very well, and that comes with experience.
So,
clearly. Gotcha.
Yeah, but
now I have a question. No. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay,
go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm just saying that throughout the time, that it just become more and more mature and more rational about it. It's just I need to come up with structure and then everything like that. But before that, when I was younger, I was just following the feelings. But then when I reached the point that I need to be more rational, I need to set up structure. I need to set up different ways of coming up with melody ideas. Yeah. Gotcha.
Okay. Now, I want to switch back because I have a voiceover question. And folks, just so you know, some of the past voiceover work he's done has included DreamWorks and Nokia, Cadbury's, PG&E, Pepsi, and, of course, Disney. So here's my question to you. If I went and I listened to all these various different things you've done for these companies, which one do you feel most closely matches your original voice, or should I say your favorite accent? Because we all have our favorite way we sound, way we talk, whatever. So which one of these, out of all these different voiceover jobs you've done, is probably closest to you and the one that you like the very most?
Right. Well, there were some ones that very my impression was very was deep. One of them is from, I believe that's from Nito. It's a vacuum for the pet, and I play the dog's voice. So in Mandarin, and I put I have that on my website. And then this is one of my favorite clips, because most of the voiceover in Mandarin jobs, overseas, in America, in the UK, they are more like corporate, like a narration, like it's just like the voice of narrating a piece. It's not like you dub the voice for animation, you dub the voice for a character. But that's something that I'm dubbing for a character, so it has up and downs, it has its feelings, it has its emotions. So I like that kind of jobs very much. And then so I believe the Nito is a very interesting very interesting project for me to do. And anything relating to dubbing for animation or dubbing for character, that's really something that I love doing.
Okay. Now, is there any prep time in terms of, like, if you know you're going to be doing an accent that you're really not as familiar with, do you need to take some time and invest and kind of teach yourself that? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, is there prep work involved?
I do need.
Before you get?
I need it.
Okay.
Yeah, especially sometimes they want me to read English, so there are some certain words I just need to check I just need to check the dictionary. Okay, and then to sort out the pronunciation. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. That's kind of what I thought, because I was like, how does he just learn how to do all this and this? Obviously, he's going to have to study like the rest of us. And I saw
you need to prepare.
Notation. Well, right. And, of course, I noticed in researching you that you still actually attend and take workshops and further your education in terms of some of the things that you do. So people that are listening in, if I have listeners that are interested in doing some of the things that you do, would you recommend that they not only get a base education, but that they continue learning as they get into the field or into their chosen career?
Well, I do wrote an article about this. If you want to learn a music instrument, what should you learn? And I do, especially for your kids, do recommend that, for if you want to know about the basic, foundational music, try to learn the piano, because everything is on the surface. White notes, black notes, you can just see it. No matter it involves chord, involves harmony, involves everything, melody, accompaniment, arrangement, it's all on the surface. You can just see it using your eyes. But if you don't really want to go into that deep, you don't have to learn the piano, but piano is really good. The one thing that I do recommend you to learn is the voice. It's the voice and singing. Because no matter what kind of instrument you play, piano or maybe even a flute or a French horn, or no matter what kind of instrument you learn, you can all see it, how the sound is made using your eyes. But for the voice, you are the instrument. So basically that you are the instrument, and your instrument is the vocal cord. And then this is the vocal cord you cannot see directly using your eyes. So this is the thing that you have to feel. So when it comes to feelings, so it's a process of exploring yourself. You need to explore how your legs works, how your stomach works, how your breathing works, how your vocal cords, the power, how much power you put on your vocal cords, and how you shape your mouth. How maybe you also need to add some head voice to resonate the voice. So it's also the same process, like you look inward to learn about different friends within your body, and then try to coordinate them. So you are actually learning yourself and also learning your emotional feelings. So actually it gives you an opportunity to become a better person because you know yourself. It's much easier for you to know other people. You can think of others because you know yourself already. So that's why I feel that vocal is very, very it's a very important instrument to learn. And also, if you have family and set up some singing games within the family, and also improves the relationship between people. And then when you really develop your inner meaning, inner feelings about world, about music, and then at this point, if you learn to play the violin, you learn to play the piano, you learn another instrument, you will play them as like you are singing. You are singing using another instrument, so you get a better expression when you play other instruments as well. So that's why I said, if you want to learn anything, I do recommend you to learn the voice, to explore your vocal cord, to explore your singing voice.
Sure, of course, I understand, and I agree 150%, definitely, without a doubt. I want to switch gears a little bit, this because I'm a huge proponent for film. Obviously, I'm a film screener myself, and I'm hosting a film festival, and I saw that you had composed some music for the film Free China, The Courage to Believe. So if you would, please tell your audience about that movie a little bit, and then tell them how you got involved. And also, can we view that film somewhere, do you know? I mean, is it online, or is it showing, or can we see this production?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. There's a website called freechinamovie.com. freechinamovie.com. Yeah, so that you can learn more about how to watch it. So basically, this is part of it's a very, it's a documentary it's documenting a very shocking fact. I mean, it's about human rights in China. So like I just said that lots of people doing Falun Gong exercise. I practice it as well. My mother practices as well. But this exercise gained so popular in the year 1999 in China. And then the communist government saw that so many people doing this exercise, they're afraid of its popularity. So they banned the exercise and started brutal persecution. So thousands of innocent Falun Gong practitioners were tortured to death, and even now it's exposed that their organs are targeted for money. So it's so terrible and scary facts that's taking place in the current China. So
I imagine.
Because of that, my mom and I, we cannot go back to China. I mean, I've been away from China for so many years, since 2003.
Right.
So then I feel this is something that I need to do, is to raise awareness of the persecution and then try to stop it and try to save innocent people's lives. So this documentary is about it's about two survivors of Falun Gong who escaped from China. So they share about what they came across in prison, and also the story of they would become a victim of organ harvesting. So so I became the music composer for this documentary. So I score the whole documentary and the music, and then I composed the theme song, and luckily that we became the official contender for the 86th Oscars for the best original song, best original, I believe, soundtrack. Yeah, and then I got nominated for the best soundtrack album for this documentary in 2012 Hollywood Music Media Awards, and then later, 1 year later, I got I was the winner of the best theme song of indie documentary category in Hollywood Music Media Awards. So basically, then this documentary also received over 10 international awards. So basically, it's a very good exposure of what's happening in China, and we feel that this is the documentary that I do feel that it's so important to my life, and also I'm so happy that I became part of the team. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Now here's a good question for you, because obviously you had mentioned this, of course. You've had nominations and wins, of course, from the Hollywood Music and Media Awards along with the Indie Music Awards. And now I know very recently you were just nominated for Best World Music for the Hollywood Music and Media Awards. So I have an award question, because I tend to try to ask these questions, because when you get to a point where you're at, where you're continuing to be nominated and you're winning things, do you ever get used to that? You know what I mean? Like, it's a surreal feeling, but does one really ever get used to it, or is it kind of still really surprising and shocking that, you keep getting better and better and you keep getting nominated? Does that still surprise you, or is it just kind of something that you're just becoming comfortable with?
At first, I did become quite happy about it. But now I feel that, and now I feel that probably it's kind of, I still feel happy, but not like too shocking or something. But I do feel that
I get it.
I do feel that maybe I become more mature. I just feel that if my music is acknowledged, is recognized, I just feel happy about it. And then I just do music. I just hope that this music can use in because of doing this Falun Gong exercise, my mission is trying to create music to give people positive energy, to give people, peaceful mind and purified mind, and then so that people can feeling inspired when they feel frustrated. So I believe that's my music mission. So if I win award and then if I got nominated, I mean, it's really makes my my mission easier to reach wider audiences. I just feel that it helps me to bring the goodness that I got inspired from my meditation or my spiritual practice to a wider audience. I just feel that if they like my music, because I sometimes see my YouTube channel and some people left a comment saying that I feel frustrated, and when I hear your music, I become calm. And also I also there was a very touching comment saying that my mom has it's a late stage in cancer, and then I play this music to her, and she felt peaceful. I just feel okay. These are touching message for me. And then if I'm winning something, and I just feel it just gives me another step to spread this love, to spread this peaceful music to a wider audience. So in terms of if I think this way, I just feel I'm pretty satisfied about the outcome. Yeah.
Sure, of course, and granted, yes. In fact, we're about to find out why. Because in a couple moments here, I'm going to play something that got sent to me, some of Tony's music, so you can get a good example of what he plays. But before I play this piece, I wanted to ask you, because I know you've done a total of 4 albums. That would be Addie's The New Story, The Mighty Heroes, and Divine Land of China. Let me ask you something relative to composing your albums, because obviously there's a difference between making music for film and then, of course, making albums and releasing them. Would you say, in terms of, a lot of my friends are always working on CDs, albums, things like that, but I guess my question to you is have you become to a point where you enjoy creating music that's going to be used in pieces versus putting together a number of your own different types of music and putting it together in an album and releasing it? Do you know what I mean? Meaning there's a lot of work and a lot of tweaking and a lot of time that goes into making these albums. So when you look at the work that you've done on these albums, has it gotten extensively, have you noticed a change in pitch, tone? Have you changed things from one album to the next? Is there any consistency with any of them? Do you know what I mean?
So you're asking that if there are any noticeable change or throughout the albums from the first one? Well,
correct.
Of course. After several years, you do gain more experience, and you do learn many things from your mistakes in your life, and then that reflects in your music. You can feel the music gaining much. The structure, the way you mix, I just feel that it sounds much more mature than the earlier album. But the style is they are Chinese style and piano solo and the contemporary instrumental, so they still falls into these categories. But you can feel that the inner meaning and the power, the energy becomes bigger. That's I always saying that. Well, when I do music, I don't really do music for an album. I just carry on composing new piece of music and share with other people. And then when it reaches a certain number of pieces, and then this is the good time to do an album. So basically, album is like diary, music diary for me. So it's later than it's a collection of my maybe the last 1 or 2 years of path I walked.
Gotcha. Okay. I was just trying to get some idea of that, because I've heard bits and pieces, but those that are listening to the show may not have ever heard any of your different types of music, of course. So clearly wanted to distinguish that a little bit. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of a break. If you would not mind telling the folks, because we're going to be playing your music, I have The Courage to Believe, which is what I'm going to be playing. So maybe just do a nice little intro into that. Tell the folks a little bit about what The Courage to Believe is all about, and then we'll play the song.
Okay. The Courage to Believe is the theme song for that documentary. So the documentary we've just talked about the human rights in China. Okay, so The Courage to Believe is the one that I won the best theme song for indie documentary short film category at the 2013 Hollywood Music and Media Awards. So this song is about courage. so sadly that today's China is still doesn't. There's no freedom of speech, freedom of belief. That if you practice Falun Gong, if you do this meditation exercise, you'll be arrested and even tortured to death, and even your organs are targeted for money. So sad that this is still currently taking place. So this is a piece of music that we believe that a free China would eventually come, but we just need to have the courage to believe, have the courage to raise awareness, have the courage to say, okay, we need to save innocent lives. We need to put the illegal human rights violation to an end. So this is a piece of music to state that, and also it does not make you feel that the current situation is so bad and nobody can do anything about it. I mean, this piece, I'm trying to give people a feeling of hope, feeling of that as long as we do it, as long as we believe it, it will happen. Just like everybody, you need to make effort on the dream that you're dreaming. So if a free China is, I can say it's part of my dream. If it is dream that as long as we do it, and then it would eventually happen. But we just need to have the courage to believe that. So I think it not only at this, I think it applies to many things.
That's wonderful. Okay, so without further ado, let's play it. The Courage to Believe.
Thank
Here
you
go,
so much.
folks. Here we go. Just 1
Thanks.
second.
Come from our first breath, freedom calls your name. Darkness lies in wait, lies turn fear to hate. Silence, feel the pain. Teardrops bring the flame. Sleepless through the night, we slave away. With stand for truth, for hope reclaimed till the end. We defend, Come, stand for truth, for hope reclaimed till the end. We defend,
That's just beautiful, I have to say. And I'm not
Thank
just
you,
saying that
thank
because I'm
you.
biased. It really is. Only because it's so culturally different. Do you know what I mean? I'm from Wisconsin originally, and so it has such a different feel to it. And you express so much emotion within that. And I think music can touch us in so many different ways. So thank you for the gift of that.
Thank
This
you so
is,
much.
No, not a problem at all. I'm going to read off a list, and so when I get finished, please let me know. These are all the different ways to find Tony Chen. So I'm going to read off a bunch of different places. When I get done, let me know if I missed anything. The website's TonyChenMusic.com. He is on Facebook. He has a personal page as well as a professional page, which again is Tony Chen Music. His Twitter handle, again, at Tony Chen Music. He is also on the following platforms: YouTube, iTunes, LinkedIn, Reverb Nation, Pinterest, Amazon, Spotify, SoundCloud, IMDb, CD Baby, Bandcamp, and then, of course, obviously, which we mentioned, which is freechina.ntdv.org. Did I miss any
and
place
also Free
that you
China. Well, probably it's easier to go freechinamovie.com.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
freechinamovie.com. And then I'm also available on these like streaming service like Apple Music and Rhapsody, Spotify, and Google Play. And then when you talk about like Tony Chen, because sometimes that the Chinese people the Chen may be CHAN, but my Chen is CHEN. So basically that's TonyChen music. Yeah, Tony Chen Music.
Gotcha. Well, wonderful. Well, this has been a magnetic. Can you believe this? It was like a whole hour has gone by. Can you believe that? People tell me that all the time. Was it an hour? It was an hour.
Yes.
But we got it in within an hour. I don't want to forget to remind you, Tony, once we get finished here, within 2 hours, the episode will be archived, and I'll send you a copy of the link for this interview so you can post it up, and then people can see it, they can listen to it. And please, whatever you do, don't be a stranger, and make sure that you come back, because I would love to host you again anytime on my program. Know that you have an open door.
Okay,
definitely.
Great. I'll keep you updated on my music career.
I would love that. I would.
Thank you so much.
And thank you.
I really enjoy talking with you and being on this show.
You.
Thank
you.
you.
I appreciate that. And I hope when I get to LA, I'll get a chance to meet you in person. I would absolutely love that. I do get to LA from time to time, not as often as I'd like, but I'll keep you posted. And you do the same, please.
Okay, great.
All right, Tony. Well, you have a great weekend.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right, take
care.
Have
a good day, good weekend. Take care.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. He was fascinating, wasn't he? I absolutely have some of the best, most culturally diverse guests that come on the show. I can't even stand it. So I will read off one more time all the different ways to find Tony. But I always want to forget to remember the obvious, which is, if it wasn't for Miss Rachel Darris of Big Hype Marketing, we would not have had another phenomenal guest. So from me to you, Rachel, I'm sure hopefully at some point you'll listen into this. Thank you, 100 times over, thank you. Keep bringing them to me because they're absolutely phenomenal individuals, and I appreciate and I respect your work and the work of your artists. So thank you so much from me to you. And again, if anybody has any marketing needs, it's called Big Hype Marketing. Her name is Rachel Darris, and it's bighypemarketing.com. You can visit her website and check out all the different clients and services they offer. So one more time for Tony Chen, and that's, as he said, Tony, C-H-E-N. Website, TonyChenMusic.com, as well as the Facebook page, same name, as well as the personal page, his name, Tony Chen. Twitter handle again at Tony Chen Music, and then all the various places include YouTube, iTunes, LinkedIn, Reverb Nation, Pinterest, Amazon, Spotify, SoundCloud, IMDb, CD Baby, Bandcamp, Google Play, and Apple Music, of course. I also don't want to forget to mention freechinamusic.com. So again, my very, very large thanks to Mr. Tony Chen for coming on the show today. Always, always, always thanking my guests as well as my listening audience. Without you guys, I would never show and I'd be talking to myself. So thanks so much to you guys for listening in. Thanks so much to my very patient children that I get to spend time with since I'm off the radio. Don't forget, everybody, Milwaukee Women's Film Festival this weekend. Don't forget to come and visit me and the kids in Heartland this weekend at the Farmers Market from 10 until 1. I'll post up the location later. And I don't want to forget to mention I am now off for the entire weekend. I'm off on Monday. I come back to radio on Tuesday, and that'll be Dr. Alvarez, which is the cosmetic dentist. I am so excited to talk to him. Many, many questions, and he knows top of the A game in New York City. So can't wait to talk to him. That's September 12th. You guys have yourself a great weekend. I'll talk to you next week. Take care.
What you doing?
Ran out of space on my phone, so I'm deleting some stuff. By singing dog. By goal.
I pronounce you.
By wedding ceremony.
Stop. At Metro PCS, you get 2 free phones with twice as much memory.
Really?
Don't say bye to your memories. Switch to Metro PCS and get 2 free LG K20 Plus phones with 32 gigs when you switch 2 lines. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figured out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.
What you doing?
Ran out of space on my phone, so I'm deleting some stuff. By singing dog. By goal.
I pronounce you.
By wedding ceremony.
Stop. At Metro PCS, you get 2 free phones with twice as much memory.
Really?
Don't say bye to your memories. Switch to Metro PCS and get 2 free LG K20 Plus phones with 32 gigs when you switch 2 lines. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figured out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.